After a messy last week, here we are again. As you are no doubt aware, the Neenah School District is still reeling from a cyber-terrorist attack which rendered most of its digital services offline, including Gmail, Infinite Campus, and Schoology. We have a report on that. At 4:15 a.m. CST on Monday the 10th, an unauthorized entry into Neenah Joint School servers was detected. Google's automatic safeguards kicked in and automatically changed every single password in the district. Distraught students were locked out of their grades, assignments, tests, and all other school data right as finals were approaching. School that day had electricity, but nothing electronic worked.
Neither of us are able to access anything.
For some teachers, this proved quite a difficulty to their lesson plans.
So today we ended up doing our food tasting for the Middle East, but as far as a lot of the rest of our learning that's been online, that's been put on hold, and I'll have to modify that for the rest of the week.
In Foundations of Physics class, we were able to build cars and test those cars, but when it came to filling out the data, we're going to have to modify that and push back some assessments later on.
I taught AP European History this morning, and I just told my students that they're getting the real college experience this morning because I just wrote my notes on the board and they copied them down on their sheets.
Yeah, it's a good practice in adaptability today, so I had to make a lot of last minute changes, thinking of how are we going to get the same lesson across, but in an old-fashioned way.
Yeah, flexibility, adaptability, good words for today. Yeah.
Others, though, were unaffected.
The internet may be down, but old school teaching, a video, a stock market game, all still works without the internet.
Nevertheless, the school day continued despite difficulties.
So the outage today has been a little frustrating. I've had to do lots of manual check-ins and check-outs. Haven't been able to check in any of these items, but it's not a big deal. It can wait. But it's been frustrating not being able to get any work done. Ongoing projects have just kind of been put on hold, and can't contact anybody via email, so that's been frustrating. But we do have a team of experts that are working on this problem, so I am confident that they will fix the problem.
It was only until 6 p.m. that day when we got the news. Once the severity of the issue was recognized by district administration as well as a growing number of tech experts and police agencies, including the FBI, school was canceled for a second day. Taking advantage of the time off and unable to do any work, some students spent the time doing fun stuff.
We are at Chimera Hobby Shop getting Pokemon cards.
We are getting the orange box. And we got bad cards.
Go, 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 get the pan, she's got the pan. Go, 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 go.
This short vacation was cut off by an announcement that staff had phones and emails back, which means we were going back on the 13th. Walking in the door, things seemed almost normal, but some changes had yet to be made.
Class link is down, and I can't access Schoology or Infinite Campus yet. Without access to that stuff, we're going old school with traditional paper materials and things in class and activities that we've been working on the last few days. But if things get switched to digital, hopefully things will be more normal.
The library, to which we had restricted access earlier, was entirely closed today. Even as teacher systems were restored, other school services were yet offline.
So with the computer outage, we ended up having to just check how many students we improved, and then if anybody worked an extra hours, we had to write down their numbers and enter it later, and students were not allowed to purchase extra items, snacks, drinks, because that requires us putting their numbers in the computer and taking from their account.
However, some did not see any issues with this.
Getting lunch was much quicker today because there was no passwords. Nothing. It was so easy. And did it take longer? It took shorter, actually. Oh, wow.
Today for class, we didn't really have much. It was just work if you had any, or what you could do.
It was only until Friday the 14th that NHS students underwent a password reset which restored access to everything. You'll be glad to know that all of our accounts are back now, which means access to all of our files, documents, emails, and everything we had lost during that 4-day stretch. This was only possible thanks to the hard work and dedication of NHS's tech department. As a school district, we are lucky to have them. Please make sure, if you see them anywhere, say thanks. Another thing students should keep in mind is to have a backup of their cloud data stored somewhere else. For this, I would recommend Google Takeout. This service allows you to export everything on your Google account. Emails, docs, logins, you name it. I had the wild idea of making a backup myself just a few weeks ago, and you should too. Alright, on to a slightly lighter topic. We've rebranded into Rocket News, which means you'll start seeing our posts on YouTube as well. Here you can also catch last week's video, which would have been our official debut. Be sure to catch our Instagram too. Here's this week's sports update. We continue to see great results all across the board. It's been some 4 weeks since any Neenah team lost a game. Swimming hosted an all-conference invitational at the NHS pool on Saturday, inviting many schools, which they also won.
Hey Rockets, we just got done with our Neenah Sprint invite. As you can see, we took first place. It was a great show out, we had a lot of fun, and it was a great team effort. Sean?
Our next meet is the 25th. I'd like to see you there. We've been working hard this year, and it'll be really nice to be able to see you.
The wrestling team continues to pin their opponents to the ground in spite of them having gone against 2 teams in one night last time. Both swimming and wrestling will have one more game this season, and if they win, they'll both be totally undefeated. Girls basketball is back to playing, having returned from their recent COVID-19 induced absence with recent victories against Appleton East and Fond du Lac. Boys basketball attended a nail-biter invitational in which they narrowly won against Brookfield, the host school. Their next games will both be at home on the 18th and against Kaukauna, and on the 21st against Appleton North. The girls' team will play the same teams at the same time, away from home. Due to the tech outage, a precise figure of student COVID-19 cases is unavailable. It should be brought to attention, however, last week's Savoy and Coffee House events being postponed, as well as the continuation of the mask mandate until the 31st. Next week's weather? More cold. But no major precipitation in the forecast either. Remember that the first semester has been extended by 1 week to cover for the time lost during the outage. As most of your classes will have likely exhausted the material available for them to teach, you are advised to use this time for makeup work and/or for any reassessments to raise your grade to a more reasonable level. Good luck with that, and Rockets be amazing.